Moment and get comfortable. Allow yourself to sit up taller, open up space in the body, feel grounded, connected, and then allow yourself to set an intention. Even though you haven't asked for anything in particular, what do you feel like you need to get from this class? Allow yourself to focus on that. Notice your breathing. On your next exhale, let's lower our chin toward our chest. Let it rest there, close to the chest. Notice how the back of the neck feels. And then on the inhale, let's lift the head up. Lift up through the crown of the head. Lift your chin above level if you like. And on the exhale, lower your chin down. Round your shoulders forward. And on the inhale, lift up and start to draw your shoulders back. Let's move this flexion and extension of our spine gently. Just a gentle way to warm up the body. Inhaling and exhaling. Moving the spine so that you let go of some of that built up tension from the day. One more time, inhale. This time when you lift your chin up, take your hands back slightly behind your hips. Heart opening pose. Allow yourself to let those shoulders drop down away from your ears. And then we're going to bring the hands in close to the body. Inhale, lift your shoulders up. Squeeze the shoulders together and back. Let the shoulders drop down. Bring them forward. Lift them up. Exhale, draw your shoulders back. Release them down behind you. Once again, bring them forward. Lift them up. Exhale, draw your shoulders back. Let's put our fingertips down behind us. Work our hands in nice and close. Now this is going to allow the muscles along the spine to shorten and soften. Notice your breathing here. Relax the shoulders even more if you can. Now keep your right hand where it's at. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Sit up tall. We want to turn our torso so we're facing that right knee to start. Keep in mind that your spine's twisting from mid-chest to tailbone. If you want to deepen the twist, slide your hand in closer to your hip and press against your thigh to deepen the twist rather than just turning your head. That way we're keeping the twist where it needs to be in the lower portion of the torso. And breathe. And then we're going to come back to center, bring our left hand behind us, sit nice and tall, and then bring your right hand over to your left knee and allow yourself to sit up a bit taller here. Notice how this feels. And again, if you need more, slide the hand in closer to your hip and breathe. Now from here, we're going to come back to center and allow yourself to hinge forward from your hips. You might keep your hands in close to your hip flexors to minimize the forward fold. This is going to stretch the back of the legs and your glutes a little bit. It's going to lengthen your spine. Put your hands down in front. Walk your hands out if you like. Now, when we take our hands forward like this, you're elongating your spine. We want to try to make sure we're not tensing up our shoulders to get into this pose though. And breathe. Maybe walk your hands over to the right. When you do that, notice how the left side of your body feels. It's going to be a gentle lateral flexion of your spine. And breathe. And then we're going to come back to center, take our hands to the left, and notice how the right side of the body feels. And breathe. Now come back to center. You might come all the way down onto your forearms. You could stack your hands flat or in fists. Let your head rest on your hands. Now press into those hands. Let's walk our hands back in. We might do a few hip circles while we're at it. Great for hip mobility. Excuse me, excellent for digestion. Bring your attention into your hips. Allow yourself to lean to the right, but only as far as the hips will allow comfortably. Lean towards your right knee. Come to the center, over to the left knee, and back to center. So let's take our time as we move through this. Breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. One final circle in this direction. And then we're going to go ahead and go in the other direction. You might decide to switch the cross of the legs. It's completely up to you. If that seems like a good idea, go ahead and do that. And then let's make those circles in the opposite direction. Take your time. Breathe. Notice if it feels slightly different on this side versus the other side. So everything that we do where we do both sides, there's always going to be the possibility that you're not going to have the exact same experience on each side. So do begin to notice those subtle differences, places where you need to maybe make more accommodations. Now, when we come back to center, we're going to pause. We basically did our seated warm-up, so now we want to maybe come to a child's pose. Let's let our knees and shins rest on the mat. Ease your hips back towards your heels. Stack your hands underneath your forehead. And breathe. Now, if you prefer, you can have your hands back by your ankles if you like. That'll let go of more shoulder tension. So you'll be getting compression in your abdomen as well as in your knees and your hip joints. Let's extend our arms out in front, palms on the mat, fingers spread wide. Let's shift our body forward. Bring your shoulders over your wrists, and on the exhale, let's release your hips down toward the mat. Notice how this feels. This is a pretty good stretch here, and the first time you do it, it might feel like it's a pose you might have wanted to do a lot more frequently. Inhale, lift up, and on the exhale, ease your hips back. Really doesn't matter how much I move. If I've been in the car for a long time or sitting a long time, the hip flexors get pretty tight. So this is always something that you can do to let go of that tension. Take your time when you're in the forward portion of this. Notice how your low back feels, and then inhale, lift up. And exhale, ease your hips back towards your heels. Just come forward one more time. Pause. And then let's bend our elbows, lower down to the mat, and we're going to come to crocodile. Stack your forearms, turn your head to one side or the other. Once again, if crocodile is not accessible for you, elbows underneath your chest, forearms and palms on the mat for Sphinx pose is a good alternative. So make the choice that feels right for you and see if you can allow your hip flexors to let go of even more tension. And breathe. Also notice how that feels across your sacrum. Now from here, we're going to bring our head back to center. Let's slide our hands close to our rib cage, press your palms against the mat, come up off the mat in cobra pose. Now this one's going to extend the stretch all the way down to the knees. Hip flexors are nice and elongated, abdominal muscles are stretching. And breathe. And then we're going to take our knees wide when we ease back toward our heels. Come into a child's pose. With the wide knee version, it's going to let go of more low back tension. Come down onto the forearms, stack your hands underneath your forehead again. And breathe. And from here, we're going to lift our head up. We're going to come to a tabletop position. So let's place those wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Look at the mat. So allow yourself to notice how this feels. Basic, neutral pose, allowing yourself to make sure that everything feels like it's in alignment. And then on the inhale, lift your head, look forward, let the center of your spine drop down toward the mat, tailbone tilts up. And then on the exhale, let your tailbone tuck under, bring your chin to your chest, lift the center of your spine up toward the ceiling. So let's flow through this a few times, inhaling and exhaling. Take your time, notice how this feels. Good way to start to stretch those muscles even more in the back, but just don't overdo. And then let's come back to neutral. Let's take our right leg back behind us, tuck the toes, press through the heel. See if you can level your hips out a bit. Maybe bring your right leg and cross over the left. Tuck the toes on the outside of the body so you can stretch your right hip. Look over your left shoulder at your right foot if you need a deeper stretch. And breathe. Let's bring that right leg back to center. Step your right leg forward and through, place it on the mat. Let's put our hands on the inside of that right foot and then ease your hips back and forward here. So this is moving your ankles, knees, hips, hamstrings, and quadriceps. Take your time and notice how that feels. Maybe you start to drop that left hip closer to the mat. You might start to straighten that right leg a bit. And breathe. One more time, dropping that left hip down. Now let's come back to neutral here. Let's place the left hand across from the right foot, right hand on your right knee. Turn your torso to the right. Lift your right arm up. Modify twisted low lunge. You might decide to tuck your toes on that left leg. Come off the left kneecap and breathe. Now we're going to place the right hand down on the right knee. Set your left knee down. Press against that right knee and bring your body up. Stack your torso over your left hip and then adjust this right leg so that you feel more stability. Again, distance between the right foot and the left knee is going to give you a little bit more stability, and stacking your body over your left hip is going to also help with that. Lift your arms up overhead, palms facing each other. A modified warrior one. Maybe interlace those fingers. You can draw your arms back. Open through the chest. Keep your gaze forward for stability, or look up toward the ceiling if you want to challenge your balance and go into a deeper back bend. And breathe. And then we're going to go ahead and lower the arms down. Separate the hands, bring them behind the back, interlace your fingers. Drop the shoulders. Let's hinge forward. Right shoulder to the inside of that right knee. Lift the arms up overhead and breathe. And then we're going to release the hands down on the inside, step that right knee back. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and extend the left leg back, tuck your toes, level your hips. Keep your gaze on the mat. Slide the left leg across if you want to. Stretch your hip. Look over your right shoulder at your left foot. Laterally flex the spine. Now, let's bring that left leg back to center. We'll step that left leg forward and through. Place it on the mat. Right hand across from the left foot. Left hand on your left knee. Turn your torso. Stay here. Maybe you lift the left arm up if you like. Tuck your toes on your right leg, come off your kneecap if you choose, and breathe. Now, left hand comes down on the left knee. Gently set your right knee down. Press into that left knee, come up. Adjust for stability, let your arms relax. Lift the arms up overhead if you choose. Again, hands can stay separated, or you can interlace the fingers. Draw your arms back behind you, keep your gaze forward, or lift your gaze up toward the ceiling for a deeper back bend, and breathe. And then we're going to go ahead and lower those arms down. Separate the hands, interlace your fingers, drop the shoulders down a bit, hinge forward. Left shoulder comes toward the inside of that left knee. Lift those arms up. And breathe. And we're going to put those hands back down on the inside, or step that left knee back. Let's maybe tuck our toes here, both palms on the mat, and then lift the knees up off the mat, and let's alternate our heels down toward the mat. Downward facing dog, just a good way to stretch the back of the legs, strengthen the upper body. Now we're going to let those knees come back down. Ease your hips back toward your heels. Bring your hands back by your ankles. Now from here, let's extend those arms once again. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, Now place both feet on the mat about hip distance apart. Walk your hands in closer to your body. Fingertips can touch the mat, maybe the palms. Maybe you have a slight bend in your knees and let the chest rest on the thighs if you like. Now bend the knees, inhale, let's lift our arms up overhead, palms together, exhale, hands to the heart. So I'll turn to face the camera so it's a little bit more easy to view what we're doing. So downward facing dog and a nice stretch like that is always good to start to stretch the back of the legs, loosen up your back. But remember, you can always do it in a very moderate way. And then let's come to standing mountain pose. Balancing poses always are a good thing too. Feet just hip distance apart, palms together at heart center. Draw your shoulders back. Take a minute and just notice your balance, your stability here. Now shift from right to left. Allow yourself to move from side to side. So sometimes if your balance isn't good, this is a good place to start. Just moving from side to side. And breathe. Now let's come back to center. And then allow yourself to turn that left foot out. Foot can be on the mat. Heel can come to the ankle. You might decide to put the sole of the foot on the calf or in front of the knee. Opt for best stability though. Lift your arms up overhead. Breathe. You might open your hands out. So every time you move, it's shifting your perceived center of gravity. If you have a lot of cushion underneath you from your mat or so forth, or a rug, it can be a little wobbly. So be really gentle with yourself. Let's bring those hands back together. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release that left foot to meet the right. Once again, establish your balance, your focus point. Shift into your left foot, turn your right foot out. Heel to the ankle, sole of the foot to the calf, and front of the knee or top of the thigh. Again, picking a point that's not moving is your best bet. If you're watching the screen, it's probably going to be less stable. Lift your arms up overhead. Breathe. Open your hands out. Tree pose. And then you're going to bring those hands back to center. Exhale, hands to the heart. And release that right foot to meet the left. Now let's step wide on our mat. Take your feet wide. We want to take them wider than our hips. And then we're going to do a forward fold, a half forward fold to start. Hinge from your hip flexors. Allow yourself to come to a flat back. Now you might keep your hands at your hips. You could take your arms out to the sides if you like, or behind you. Now this is going to stretch the back of the legs and the inner thighs. So decide how you want to approach this and breathe. You might decide to put your fingertips down in front of you. And what we want to do is maybe walk our fingertips forward so you're getting a deeper stretch in the back of the leg. So it's up to you to take it to where it feels good for you. And breathe. You could put your palms down. And that's another good option for deepening the stretch. And breathe. It's possible you might want to bend your elbows, lower your head down. So it is going to drop your head below the heart, so just make sure that you don't feel lightheaded. And this is going to give you a deeper stretch even. You could walk your hands back so that they're in alignment with your heels. Bend the elbows. And breathe. And then walk your hands back out. Place your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift your head back up. And then we're going to heel toe our feet together. Now from here, we're going to come down onto the mat. We're going to do our C-sit series. Let's bring our right leg forward and our left leg back. So when we come into this pose, we're going to go through the whole series. It's very good for legs, hips, back, neck, shoulders, digestion, anxiety. So put one hand on either side of this right knee. And on the exhale, let's bend your elbows and lower down toward the floor. Take your time. You can use your arms as much or as little as you like. It's good for the triceps. Inhale, lift up. Strengthening the biceps as well. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, lifting up. One more time, exhale, bend your elbows lower down. And inhale, lifting up. So now, if you like, you can take your hands on the outside of the knee and twist a little deeper. You can walk your hands all the way back toward the hip and stay upright. Ribs all the way from the rib cage down to the hips is twisting. You can fold over that leg, come down onto your forearms. Deep twist, deep compression, calming forward fold in deer pose. And then we're going to walk those hands back in. You might bring your right hand behind your hip. Keep your hips down if you choose, or press into that hand. Lift your hips up, stretch your hip flexors, reach that left arm up and over, and breathe, mermaid pose. Lower the hips back down. Let's extend our left leg out. Keep our right leg centered. Place your hands in front of that right ankle. And then lean forward from your hip flexors. We want our low back to be long and straight. As you lean into this, you can take your hands out in front of you if you need to deepen the stretch. If you meet some resistance in your body, give yourself permission to pause. Don't push past wherever your body's resisting at this time. Notice where you're feeling that resistance. See if you can let your body relax a bit. Now maybe walk your hands over to the extended leg. Place your hands on the thigh and lean forward, or slide them all the way toward the ankle, or somewhere in between. So this extended leg is going to get a nice stretch. Take your right hand, try to bring it to the outside of the left leg, ankle, or foot. You're going to deepen the stretch in the opposite hip. And breathe. We're going to walk our hands back in again. Now you can bring your left leg in front of your right for easy seated. Put your foot on your knee, down your foot for square, or up for shoelace if you prefer. Now you can also use any other leg, seated leg version that you like. Take your arms out to shoulder height, bring your right arm over your left. Give yourself a big hug here. Notice what this feels like, stretching across the upper back, shortening the muscles in the chest. You can stay upright with this, or you might decide to add a forward fold. Drop your chin, round forward, or fold forward here. As you come forward, it's going to deepen the stretch in shoulders and hips. It's adding compression to your abdomen, and forward folds are calming generally. Now from here, we're going to inhale, lift our head back up, and on the exhale, unwind your arms, extend them out. You can press your palms away to open space across the chest and upper back. Let your hands come down beside you. Sit up nice and tall. Elongate the neck, shoulders drop down. Now, if you want to open across the chest more fully, turn your fingers toward the back of the mat. That's going to allow that chest to stretch more, and upper back is going to shorten and relax a little bit more, the muscles between the shoulder blades. Notice how this feels. Very heart opening and energizing. We might drop the chin to minimize that. That's also going to stretch the back of the neck. Take a moment and breathe here. You can stay right here, or you might decide to make 3 neck circles. So allow yourself to take your chin, turn your head toward that right shoulder, lift the chin up to level, lift your chin above level, elongate your neck as you bring your head to center, turn to the left, lower your chin down, and back to center. So maybe a couple more circles here. Take your time. Breathe. Let's notice how this feels. Again, these circles can be much smaller than I'm demonstrating. Just make sure that you're not pushing through pain to get a larger circle. Make sure we're working with a comfortable range of motion for ourselves. When your head comes back to center this time, we're going to pause. Lift your head up, release your shoulders. Let's do this all again on the other side. Left leg forward, right leg back. One hand on either side of this knee. And when you're ready, let's bend our elbows, lower down, take your time. And inhale, lifting up. Remember using your arms as much or as little as feels comfortable. You might even consider keeping the elbows in real close to your sides when you do move like this. Inhale, lift up. Just to activate the triceps more. One more time. Exhale, bend your elbows lower down. And inhale, lifting up. Again, do we want a deeper twist? Take our hands to the outside of the knee. Walk them all the way back toward the hip if you like. Stay upright. Or fold over this leg. Come down onto your forearms. Notice how this feels and breathe. Let's walk our hands back in. You might press into that left hand, keep your hips down, or lift the hips up, stretch the hip flexors, reach that right arm up and over. And then we're going to lower back down. Let's extend our right leg out, keep our left leg centered. Allow yourself to place your hands in front of that left ankle, and let's walk the hands forward. Notice when you meet some resistance once again. Again, we pause, we let our body relax and see if there's a little bit more available to us. And breathe. Let's walk our hands over to the extended leg. Hands can rest on your thigh or slide towards your ankle. And breathe and notice how the extended leg feels, but also notice the opposite hip. Now we're going to walk those hands back in, bring the right leg in front, or any of the other options you choose, square or shoelace. Arms out, left arm over the right. Give yourself a big hug here. Notice how this feels. Sit upright with it or come into a forward fold as you choose. And breathe. We're going to inhale and come back up. And on the exhale, unwind the arms, extend them out. Press palms away from one another. Let your hands come down beside you. Sit nice and tall. Turn your fingers toward the back of the mat. Notice how that feels across your chest and in your upper back. Consider lowering your chin to your chest. Nice stretch in the back of the neck. Maybe we even turn our head toward that left shoulder. Considering making some neck circles in the opposite direction. If you choose to, again, take your time. Let go of expecting your body to feel exactly the same way on each side, and instead allow yourself to be curious and pay attention as you move in the opposite direction. Notice if there's some discomfort that's more prevalent on this side. Maybe it feels more comfortable to you. Take your time. Just notice. And breathe. Now once your head comes back to center, let's pause. Lift your head up, release your hands. Let's go ahead and come into a seated stack pose. Extend our legs out in front. Allow yourself to, we want to be sitting more toward the top of our thighs rather than back toward our tailbone. So I always like scoot forward and then sit up straight from here. So allow yourself to notice how that feels. If the backs of the knees are kind of tight, we can have a slight bend in our knees. That's always a good option for tight legs. You can put your hands beside you if you want. Allow yourself to consider lifting from the base of the body. I'm not asking you to levitate, I'm just asking you to pull some of that energy away from the floor and try to bring it towards your solar plexus. And then if you'd like, you can draw your toes towards you as well. Hands are going to rest beside you, but we're not going to really press into those hands. Notice what it feels like to sit in seated stack pose. It is not an exciting pose. It actually uses all your core strength from above your knees to your rib cage. Just allow yourself to notice how this feels and make sure that you're comfortably breathing here too. One more time with the breath. Inhale. exhale. So if you did nothing but did about 3 seated staff poses a day with 3 breaths each, you're going to start to contribute to your core strength. The main thing is to recognize where your core strength is and what it feels like in your body, not what it looks like. It doesn't have a particular look. It looks different in all of us. So just take a minute, notice how this feels to sit all upright and tall, and breathe. Now you might decide to bend your right knee and bring your right knee in towards your body. So as you hug that knee in, you're going to get a little compression on the right side of the abdomen. You can let that right leg cross over the left if you like. Left leg can stay straight, or you might decide to bend the knee and bring it to your hip. Left hand can rest on top of your right knee. Let's sit up nice and tall. Again, when we sit up tall, we reduce the risk of compression between the vertebrae. We're getting our muscles to elongate, and we're giving our body more room to move. Now, you might look at your right shoulder, put your right hand behind you, left just hang out on your knee, or pull it into the center if you like, wrap it around, or let it rest on top to press into it. So make your choice as to how you want to explore a seated spinal twist. And breathe. So I give you a lot of options so that you understand that there's not just one way to enjoy a particular pose. There's a lot of different ways that you can explore these. Come back to center. Right hand can come to your right ankle. Sit tall. Twist in the opposite direction. And breathe. And then we're going to come back to center. Let's re-extend the left leg. Bring your right leg on the inside of the left leg. And maybe let your knee drop open. The foot can be down by your ankle or all the way up to the top of the thigh. And we're just going to center over that extended leg. We want to hinge forward from our hip flexors. Allow yourself to just lean over that leg or maybe slide your hands all the way down toward the ankle. You might put your hands on either side of that foot. This is a great way to get a good leg stretch. It's also going to release tension in the opposite hip. And breathe. We're going to walk our hands back in, bring the right knee in, extend your right leg, bring the left knee in this time. Again, you can stay on the inside or you can cross it over. Keep your right leg extended or bend the knee into your hip. Now, place your right hand on top of the left knee, sit tall. Allow yourself to turn your head towards your left shoulder, put your hand behind you. Now, this hand can stay on top of the knee, or pull it in. Stretch your IT band, wrap your elbow around the knee if you prefer, or let it rest on top. So make the choice on this side of the body that suits you the best. And breathe. Now we're going to inhale and come back to center. Bring your left hand to your left ankle, twist in the opposite direction. Come back to center, extend that right leg. Left leg can come anywhere on the inside of this right leg that suits you. Sit up nice and tall. And then once again, we can decide if we want to hinge forward over this extended leg. Slide your hands towards your ankle if you like. And breathe. You can fold over that leg to the degree that suits you. We don't want to overstretch. We don't want to force our body into submission. We want to take it to where it feels good to us. Walk those hands back in. Let's go ahead and bring the soles of our feet together. Let our knees drop open. External rotation of our thighs. Maybe our feet are further from us or in closer. It's up to us to decide what feels best in our body. Maybe the feet don't even come all the way together. So rock a little bit, loosen up your hips if you need to. You can bounce your knees a bit, which is going to give you a little bit of muscle stretch. Or you might decide to press the knees toward the floor, but not with your hands. Sit tall and allow your knees to press toward the floor. You want to tell the knees to press toward the floor. So you might not be seeing much with this, but it lands in the hip joints when you do that. It's a different kind of stretch. It's actually stressing your connective tissue. So that's a better term for it. It's a stress in your connective tissue. We can stay right here, or we might decide to hinge forward from our hips And that's going to still stay focused in the hip joints. You can put your hands down in front, walk your hands out. So that's a way to take that stress in the hip joints a little bit deeper. Just make sure that it's not feeling like it's painful. You want to feel the stress, but not like torture type experience. We don't want to force our body into submission. Again, we're trying to find the stress or the stretch that feels just right for us. I'm going to walk your hands back in. We might take both legs out into a wide-legged, seated wide-legged pose. And we're going to scoot forward again toward the top of our thighs. Allow yourself to sit up tall. Maybe the legs stay relaxed here. They don't actually have to be fully engaged, but yet we can engage them once we get started. While we're sitting here, we can point the toes and flex the feet. So we're stretching the backs of the legs as well as the tops of the legs, our shin area. And then notice your quadriceps are getting involved as well, hamstrings. Maybe you decide to circle those ankles a few times. Notice when you circle your ankles, you're not just moving your ankles, you are involving the shin muscles, the calf muscles. Now, once you get into what feels like a good position for yourself, we can lean forward here. Again, we want to keep the back straight if we can. Start with the low back. Pay attention to that as we lean forward from our hips. We can walk our hands out. We can slide them down the legs. Notice how this feels. Your hamstrings, the insertion point at the top of your thighs is going to feel pretty intense. Maybe it's behind your knees. When you get to a point where it feels like a good stretch before it becomes painful, give yourself permission to pause. Again, that might be as far as you want to go, but once again, if you allow your body to relax, it might let you go a bit further forward. And breathe. We're going to walk those hands back in. We might go ahead and come into preparation for a boat pose. We're going to place our feet on the mat, wrap our hands around the shins, sit up tall here. So this is going to elongate our spine. It's going to build a little bit of core strength. Notice how this feels. You're getting some compression in your abdomen. We might lean back a bit and put our hands right between our thighs and our calves, right behind the knees. We might decide to rock back and just lift our feet up off the mat. You could extend your legs out partially, halfway. Keep your hands behind the legs for support, or you can extend your arms as well. And breathe. And now we're going to go ahead and rebend the knees. Wrap your hands around your shins, sit tall. So that's an option. We can also reach through, grab a hold of our big toes, rock back, find our balance point. Maybe we begin to straighten the legs out in front of us. You can partially straighten them, or you can fully straighten them if you like. It becomes pretty much of a balance challenge, so watch your head. You can take your legs into a wide-legged boat. Lift up through the crown of the head, draw your torso towards your feet a little bit more for stability. And then go ahead, excuse me, bring the feet back together. Wrap your hands around your shins, sit tall. And release a little bit of that back tension. Now, we're going to go ahead and do our side lying series. I still have a little bit of an issue with one knee, so I'm going to start on my right side. That's the side that's challenging, so because I'm going to be moving my left leg. So I'm resting on my right side, got my left leg on top, knees bent in a 90-degree angle, and just let your head be supported. Now, you could put your hand right underneath your head, or you can let it rest on your arm. Bring your attention from your shoulder to your hip, and we want to move that shoulder up toward our ear and move your hip away from the shoulder. It's a little hard to see, I'm sure, but then we're going to try to draw the shoulder and hip toward each other, and I'll generally lift my head to shorten the side body a little bit. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, shorten. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, shorten. Now let's come back into neutral. And we're going to allow ourselves to keep the feet together and inhale, open your knees apart. And exhale, knees together. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, knees together. Again, inhale, knees apart. And exhale, knees together. Now keep the knees together, and we're going to inhale, open our feet apart. Exhale, feet together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale, together. Once more, inhale, feet. And once more, exhale, feet together. Now a set of alternating. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale, together. Inhale, knees. Exhale. Inhale, feet. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, knees. Exhale. Inhale, feet. And exhale. Now let's extend both legs all the way down to the end of the mat. Lift the top leg off the bottom leg about a foot or so. This is inhale. And on the exhale, let's bring that knee toward the shoulder. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, knee toward the shoulder. Inhale and straighten. And exhale, knee toward the shoulder. Now inhale, extend the leg down, keep it lifted, and on the exhale, turn your toes down toward the floor. Inhale, turn your toes up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Once more, exhale down. Once more, inhale up. Lower that leg. And then we're going to come around to the other side. Knees bent, 90-degree angle, head resting on your arm. Allow yourself to notice how this feels. Again, use your top hand for stability if you like. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and keep those feet together. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale, knees together. Inhale apart. Exhale together. Once more, inhale, knees apart. And exhale, knees together. Now keep your knees together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale together. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And once more, exhale. Now alternate a set. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale together. Inhale, feet apart. Exhale together. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more set of alternating. Inhale, knees apart. Exhale. Inhale, feet. And exhale. Let's extend both legs all the way down to the end of the mat. All right, my knee is telling me. So take a moment. Lift that leg up off the mat, about a foot or so. Inhale. And on the exhale, we want to bring that knee toward the shoulder. Inhale and straighten. Take your time. Exhale, knee toward the shoulder. Inhale, straighten. Once more, exhale, knee toward the shoulder. And inhale, straighten. Now from here, we're going to come onto our backs for supine positions. Place your feet on the mat, hip distance apart. Allow yourself to come into constructive rest pose. Let your hands rest palms down or up. Let your knees sway side to side. Take a moment and just notice how this feels. So this is going to give you a chance to relax from the rib cage on down. It's nothing that we have to experience per se. Just get your body to kind of relax and let go some tension at first and breathe. Now those knees can drop all the way to the floor if you choose, or it can be a very small movement. And breathe. Now, let's come back to center. Let's walk both feet in close to each other. Let your ankles and knees drop over to the right, and then extend your left arm out. Look towards your left hand. Supine spinal twist. Nice gentle version here. Give yourself permission to just relax into this twist. Good for the nerves and muscles in your back, your balance, your digestion. The main thing is to try to relax as much as you can once you're in this pose, because it takes a little bit of effort to get into it, but then you want to take that relaxation maybe 5 or 10% deeper. Now let's let the knees come back to center. And on the exhale, let your knees shift to the left, extend your right arm out, look towards your right hand, and allow yourself to, once again, see if you can relax just a little bit more in this supine spinal twist. And breathe. Now, let's let the knees come back to center. We're going to lift our feet up off the floor. Place your hands on your knees and rock a little bit across your sacrum. So you can keep the knees out away from your torso, which is going to minimize the compression in the abdomen. But if you need some compression, bring the knees in. Wrap your hands around your shins if you choose to. And breathe. That's going to encourage digestion a little bit more. Let your knees widen here. Take the pressure off the abdomen altogether, but keep your hands on your shins. That will allow the back to press more comfortably into the mat. Then slide your hands toward your ankles. Let the inner thighs stretch a bit. And breathe. Maybe even decide to interlace your fingers. Wrap them around the feet. Press your knees open. Notice how this feels. Good inner thigh stretch. Good hip stretch. Supine butterfly. And then consider reaching for the edges of your feet. Lift the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling. Happy baby. Notice what this feels like. As you have your hands on the edges of the feet, you're drawing your knees toward the floor. So that's going to be more intense in your hips, your knees, and your ankles. You can let go or release some of the pressure on the edges of the feet if it's too much. You can rock from knee to knee here if you like and give yourself a full back massage along with the stretch. And breathe. Now let's come back to center. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Interlace your fingers around the feet. Press your knees open in a supine butterfly. And breathe. Now let's let those knees come back to center. Slide your hands right behind your kneecaps. Keep your thighs in close. Extend the lower legs up toward the ceiling so you can partially straighten the legs here, keeping compression on the abdomen, or fully straighten them. Take your hands away if you want to. So legs up the wall. This is going to be our inversion. It's going to improve the circulation in your legs, strengthen your heart and digestive system, reduces anxiety and insomnia. Now you could just hang out and look at your toes, or you can also stretch your legs while you're here. Point and flex. Most everything that we do can be more or less active. So notice if something feels like you need to just be more chill and relaxed, give yourself permission not to add the additional movement to it. But you can also, if you really need that movement, go for it. Loop your fingers around your big toes, maybe press up through the soles of the feet. That's going to extend those legs, press through letting go of a lot of tension behind your knees and in your low back. And breathe. Now bend your left knee. Put your left foot down. Put your right foot over on top of your left knee. Supine pigeon. Great hip opening stretch right here. Bounce the knee a little bit for a bit more stretch. Now you might bring that left knee in towards your chest. That's going to intensify the stretch in that right hip. So notice how that feels. And breathe. Now put your left foot down, slide your right knee over on top of your left knee. Let those knees drop to the left as you extend your right arm out. Now when you do this, this is going to be much more intense in your right hip, You also might feel like it's more intense in your shoulder as well. If you get here and it feels more intense than you really want, just uncross your knees and it just eases the intensity of it quite a bit. And breathe. Bring the knees back to center. And on the exhale, set your right foot down. Left foot comes on top of your right knee. Again, we're in a supine pigeon. Gentle version. Bounce the knee for a little bit more. Bring your right knee into your chest and wrap your hand around the shin for an even deeper stretch in that left hip if you like. And breathe. Now set your right foot down. Slide your left knee over on top of your right knee. And again, we're going to check in with that left hip before we go ahead and drop those knees to the right. Extend your left arm out. Look towards your left hand. Nice twist of the spine. Nice deep hip stretch and shoulder stretch as well. Once again, if you need to uncross the knees to ease it up a little, you can. And breathe. Now we're going to let those knees come back to center when you're ready. And on the exhale, uncross your knees. Slide your feet to the end of the mat. Reach your arms overhead if you like. And allow yourself to point and flex your feet a few times. Stretch the legs out a little bit more. Maybe reach through those fingers. Shake your arms out. Get rid of that last bit of tension in your body before you settle into Shavasana. Palms up, feet out to the side, your typical position for final relaxation. If this feels comfortable to you, then that's great. You can stay right there, but you can also move into anything else that feels more comfortable. Lie on your side, roll onto your abdomen, crocodile. You can move into a child's pose. Give yourself permission to find a place to rest in stillness for the next few minutes. Again, this is always the most important part of the practice. It's not always something that everyone always takes time to do, but it is the one that integrates everything. Once you've moved your body and you've worked out as much tension as you can, and you come into stillness, notice the things that come up for you as far as what makes it challenging for you to rest in stillness for the last part of the practice. Yoga is not about doing, it's about being exactly as you are. So once we've worked off all that tension, we start to notice what remains. Notice your breathing. Notice the rhythm, the depth, the pace of the breath. Allow yourself just to observe without trying to fix it or change it. Let your attention move to physical tension or physical discomfort that you might be experiencing in your body. And if there's no discomfort, maybe you notice where your body feels relaxed, where it feels satisfied, where it feels comfortable. So allow yourself to take in and notice whatever physical sensations you become aware of. Allow yourself to notice emotions that arise, thoughts, ideas, beliefs. Allow yourself to observe whatever it is that arises for you in this moment. We never quite know what we're going to encounter when we come into stillness. But whatever it is that arises for you, give yourself permission not to judge, not to try to fix or change anything. Just be the observer of what pops up for you, what becomes apparent. Notice what makes it more challenging for you to rest in stillness. Or notice what enhances your ability to rest in stillness. Give yourself permission to to just be exactly as you are right now. The ultimate point of yoga is for us to just be. Notice your experience with that. When we're able to just be, we begin to realize that that's enough, that we're enough just exactly as we are. We begin to realize we don't have to fix or change a thing to be enough because we already are enough. Sometimes that seems so simplistic, like it can't possibly be that simple, and yet it really is. Give yourself permission to acknowledge the fact that you're enough. Just take this time to rest in stillness and notice where your attention lands and where it travels to. Just breathe and just be. Now, when it feels right to you, allow yourself to start to move again. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, roll your shoulders, stretch from side to side. Whatever it takes to allow yourself to come back into a more upright, comfortable position. Sit in a way that suits you, something that feels right to you. Choose a mudra if you like. Left hand resting palm up, right hand on top of it, thumbs touching. That's for auspicious pose. Allow yourself to notice what this feels like. You can try different ones out. Some of them will really appeal to you, and other ones are just not going to ever feel right to you. So I think a lot of that has to do with what we need the most in the moment. Take a moment, just reflect on your practice now. Allow yourself to notice what worked for you today, what didn't, what was easy, what was challenging. Notice what you became aware of as you practiced. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me tonight. I honor the place in you, which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace from my heart to yours. Namaste.